Hello and welcome to Healthy India. I'm your host Lottie Alaric. Well folks, I see you every week with a set of doctors who tell us various things about various diseases as to how to understand the signs and symptoms of certain diseases and what to expect in terms of treatment. Today we will be talking about oral health, as to what oral hygiene means and what are the problems that can arise due to some negligencies on our part. Well, to tell us more on the subject, I have in the studio a distinguished panel of doctors. I'm very happy to welcome Professor Dr. Harpreet Grewal, who's an orthodontist at the Department of Dental Education in University College of Medical Sciences. Sitting to her right is Dr. Mahesh Verma, who's the Principal Director of Maulana Azad Dental College at the MADC. And sitting to my left is Dr. Naseem Shah, Professor and Chief Center for Dental Education and Research at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. So I take this opportunity of welcoming three of you to the show. Well, friends, before we start talking to our guests and before you too can take part in this discussion by asking questions, let us all take a look at this report.
Oral health means more than just an attractive smile. It's a reflection and an essential part of total health. One who has bleeding gums or decaying teeth can hardly be called healthy. Oral health refers to the condition of teeth, gums and the mouth as a whole. In our country, unfortunately, oral health is at a discount. Vast segments of our population suffer from tooth decay, gingivitis, periodontitis, pyorrhea and even mouth cancer. Accumulation of plaque and tartar around the gums often go unnoticed and lead to painful conditions later. Many systematic disorders have been identified as contributory factors, as has also been the role of certain classes of drugs that lead to or aggravate gingivitis and periodontitis. And then there is a role of the things we eat. It is recognized that starchy foods, sugars, soft foods and refined foods also predispose one to dental ailments. Perhaps a little more care in this regard and a little attention to oral hygiene, regular brushing of the teeth and visits to the dentist could go a long way in ensuring that our breath remain fresh and our smiles captivating.
Well, we'll definitely be telling you in detail as to how to take care of your pearly whites. But before that, we'll have to slip into this very short break. But do stay tuned as we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. This is Healthy India and today we'll be talking about oral health. Well, to begin with, Dr. Grewal, let me begin with you. The moment we say oral hygiene, what does it really translate into for the common man?
For a common man, oral hygiene would mean cleaning his teeth, his or her teeth, at least twice daily. Brushing is mandatory at least twice daily to keep the teeth clean. It is necessary that one should, it can be either with the local methods also, neem, datun also can work for that purpose, but cleaning teeth twice daily is how we can maintain our oral hygiene.
So that's the basic that one must do.
Yeah.
All right.
Daily.
So, Dr. Mahesh, is there a particular manner in which one should go about brushing? Because usually one is in a hurry in the morning, you know, and I don't think people really pay that much attention to the way that they must brush.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you'd like to say?
You know, yes, that's one aspect that we will come to, that how we
Right,
brush.
right,
But,
right.
you know, you see, as Dr. Harpreet just said, that, you know, the oral hygiene maintenance is just not brushing alone. You know, we need to brush, we need to maybe floss, you know, because in between teeth,
Right.
we need to clean our tongue, and we, you know, what we tend to eat and then we forget, we need to swish, you know, gargle our mouth, you know, if we are not able to, because we eat throughout the day and it's not possible, feasible to brush every time.
That's
so
right.
at least we can rinse our mouth, and you know, the majority of the remnant of the food which is stuck in the mouth gets cleaned out.
Right.
And also most of us, you know, we do not know what kind of brush to choose,
That's right,
choose
right.
from, or, you know, how long a brushing should be, you know, and how we brush the teeth, how do we floss, you know, the usual question asked by many of us is, what is a floss?
What is
You
a
know,
floss, right.
What is a floss? Because unfortunately in our country, the floss has not become very popular, you know, but
correct.
you know, if you start flossing, and you will see that would almost lead to complete cleaning of teeth, because you brush from outside, from upper side, from inside, but you don't clean the food debris which is stuck between the teeth. So that is done by the floss. And you know, and there's another question. Usually people come and ask you, what is the role of the mouthwashes? You know,
That's right. That's what I wanted to know.
if you need to supplement the hygiene, you know, also mouthwashes can also act as an adjunct, you know, it can it can supplement the cleaning. So everything all in toto actually would result in you know, the maintenance of the hygiene of the mouth. Now I have a little a chart here, if the camera could focus, if camera could show it. Is it possible, or?
Yes, yes, we'll definitely try and show this to our viewers and people. You must actually know as to what is the right way of keeping your
Yes,
mouth
yes.
clean, and this is what
Yes,
we are trying
that's-
to tell you.
You know, as you see in the first picture, number 1, you know, the brush has been kept at an angle of about 45 degree, you know, oblique, you know, at the gum line. You know, that's very important, that where we keep our brush, at the gum line, and then we activate the brush a little bit, so that what is stuck between the teeth below the gum, that is taken out. And you know, usually the upper teeth are actually brushed downwards, and the lower teeth are brushed upwards. You know. So we don't brush our teeth very vigorously horizontally, because this will harm our teeth, especially at the gum level. And then comes to how to clean the front teeth. You see, another thing which we forget is we don't clean from inner side. You know, inner side, that means the side where the tongue is there. We usually clean from outside, and we don't clean from the inside. So that also has to be done in a very similar manner as we do from outside. Then the chewing surface, you know, the surface which is chewing the food, that has to be clean. Now see here, the chewing surface has to be with the vigorous you know, fourth and back and forth strokes, that's clean. Then the front teeth, see the front teeth have a very different design. So the brush has to be kept you know, vertical, and from the front side of the head, the inner side of the teeth is clean. And then you know, and then the tongue, the most important. You know, if you don't clean your tongue, a large amount of bacteria which can bring about dental problems, you know, that remains on the tongue. So that also needs to be cleaned.
That's right. So let me just continue from here. So Dr. Naseem, now he just spoke of mouthwashes. So you see a number of ads on TV and in print and what have you. And sometimes it can be very confusing for people as to how to use a mouthwash and how often to use a mouthwash. So would you like to throw some light on that?
Yeah. Continuing with what Dr. Verma said, I would say that if you brush your teeth well, then mouthwashes are only an adjunct and it is not routinely required.
Right.
So brushing properly, and I would also recommend not twice but at least thrice a day. It is important people everybody knows that one has to brush the teeth in early morning and before going to bed.
Right.
But most important thing is to brush after breakfast, when the person is about to leave for offices or schools, and that time after eating the breakfast, everybody is in a rush to reach the office or the schools, and they tend to forget cleaning their mouth, and then there is a long gap between breakfast and lunch.
That's right.
And all these hours, the food particle remains stuck to the teeth and also on the tongue. And important thing is to brush after the breakfast. That is important, and I would like to recommend that as a routine for everyone. In fact, after every major meal, one has to brush, not always with the toothpaste, but at least wet the brush and then go around so that nothing sticks to your mouth. And one feels fresh. It prevents all the oral diseases like dental caries and periodontal diseases, and one feels nice, you see. So, brushing is important. What Dr. Harpreet had said, that one could use even datun and all, I would say that the standard of care is toothpaste and toothbrush. All these are additional adjuncts. It cannot substitute brushing. So, and coming to this oral hygiene methods, in our country, in rural area and semi-urban areas, people use all kinds of tooth powder. But in a study that was conducted at AIIMS, we have found that tooth powders are highly abrasive. Very, very abrasive. So, it is important to see the abrasivity of the particle size. Coarse particles cause lot of wearing away of the tooth structure. As Dr. Mahesh Verma had said, that brushing in a wrong manner also leads to tooth wear. So, it causes lot of tooth wear, destruction of the enamel at the neck of the teeth, and it leads to sensitivity and lot of further complication. So, I would recommend that toothpaste and toothbrush should be the standard of care. All others, as and when required, can be adjuncts, and mouthwashes should be used on prescription only, and for limited period, not throughout.
Correct. Now, Dr. Grewal, now again coming back to the kind of toothpaste that we should be using, again where people are, you know, at a I mean, there's no knowledge about the fact, because the kind of advertisements that come, every toothpaste says that, well, ours is the best, and they'll make you believe that, okay, sometimes now what is happening is that the toothpaste that are being advertised they make you believe that everybody's teeth are sensitive, right? And so there are certain kind of toothpaste for that. So what, is there any choice that should be made regarding picking up toothpaste, and if yes, based on what?
In case it is prescribed, like for the sensitivity part, if it is prescribed, then a medicated toothpaste can be used. Otherwise, any toothpaste with low abrasive index, not the locally marketed one, which are approved by our agencies, they should be used and applied upon. And fluoridated toothpaste can be used for children above 3 years of age.
Right. Below that?
Below that, it should not be recommended.
That's right. So, any toothpaste that says that it has some content of fluoride should not be used for children who are below 3. This is something that people need to remember. All right. And otherwise, and do those pastes which say that, okay, they are for sensitive teeth, does it have any effect on people's teeth or mouth, gums especially?
Means they should not be used for on a prolonged basis. Because they are having medications which should not be used for a prolonged basis. Only till the dentist prescribes you, till that period you should be using that toothpaste.
Right. So, Dr. Mahesh, would you want to add anything to that?
You know, as Harpreet said that you know, this medicated toothpaste. Now, you see, sensitivity is a very common problem. Why this happens? The sensitivity could be because of the gum disease.
Right.
It could be because we have been wrongly brushing our teeth, and it has caused you know, it is called indentation in the neck of the teeth. It is also because the kind of pan and all those things, abrasive things, supari which we chew, that leads to, you know, wearing off of the chewing surface of the teeth. All this brings about sensitivity, and sensitivity is one of the very common dental problems which is seen in the modern times. Now, there are many ways to treat sensitivity. Now, these toothpaste which are medicated toothpaste, which is actually directed at sensitivity, they stall sensitivity. They do not completely. They cannot eliminate sensitivity, because there is a reason why sensitivity has occurred. Many a times, as Dr. You know, Naseem would agree with me, that many a times we use other ways, you know, like restorations, we do fillings, and sometimes in very extensive situations we do even root canals. You know. So, these medicated toothpaste, if you use for lifetime and you think that, I think that's not good, and they may be used for a limited period of time to bring down sensitivity. And if the sensitivity is very extensive, I don't think these toothpastes can really take care of a situation like that.
Right. Now, Dr. Naseem, another very common problem that I'm sure you must be coming across is of dental cavities or dental caries that people suffer from. So, first of all, what are the causes of somebody, getting manifested their teeth with dental cavities?
You have asked a very pertinent question, because dental caries is one thing which affects universally all age group and both the sexes, and it is so amazing that enamel is the hardest tissue of the body, but the way it just crumbles under acid attacks and leads to dental cavities is amazing. So, one has to understand what are the causes, and if you can visualize the triad, that is, one side is the tooth substrate, other side is the oral hygiene methods, and the third side is our routine dietary practices. So, these three factors interplay and cause demineralization of the enamel, leading to dental cavities. So, it is very important to understand that the makeup of the tooth structure itself, right from the beginning, when a woman conceives, right from the 6 weeks onwards, the tooth bud starts forming, and right from that age till the child is born, grows up to the age of 15 to 18 years, all his milk teeth and permanent teeth are forming and calcifying. So, tooth structure itself is very, very important, for which a balanced diet, high protein diet, diet rich in calcium, phosphate, etc. is important. So, this is one part. Second thing is oral hygiene, which we have already discussed in depth, and the third thing is dietary practices. Now, as I said that we need high protein diet, good balanced diet. So, systemic effect of diet, and the other thing is local effect of diet. What we eat, how frequently we eat. It has been proved that sugar is the culprit. If we take lot of sugar, you get lot of cavities, but in what form? Are you taking in a liquid form or a solid form or very sticky form? When you eat very sticky sugary substances, it takes a long time to clear off from the oral cavity, and therefore, it causes much more damage than if it is taken in a liquid form.
Right.
So, diet
Dr.
is
Naseem,
very,
we'll be
very
coming
important.
back as to how this can be taken care of, because as we know that dental caries is a very common problem that we come across almost on a day-to-day basis. But don't go away, as this is the time for us to slip into a very short break. But when you come back, please reach us at these numbers, which are 1800115314 and 23035420. And remember, today we are talking about oral health. Welcome back. You're watching Healthy India, and today we are talking about oral health. So if you have a question regarding anything to do with your teeth, with your gums, or any part of your mouth, this is the time to call us, as the doctors are here and who will be giving the answers to all your queries. So please remember the numbers, which are 1800115314 and 23035420. Just remember, when you call us, keep the volume of your TV set to the bare minimum so that we can hear you and you can hear other panelists. Now, Dr. Grewal, since we are talking about dental caries, now she's told us very clearly as to what are the causes of dental caries. But once something like this sets in, people usually do not take account of it very quickly unless the tooth really starts to ache and pain and what have you. But as a doctor, what is your advice to the public?
Visit to a dentist every 6 months is mandatory.
Right.
That should be there. That practice, if it is there, then the initial caries can be incipient caries, we talk about it, and it should be taken care of, and a doctor or a dentist can give a pit of fissure sealant and seal the cavity there and then itself. In case it is progressed to a level that it needs a restoration, that means you have come late. And you are late for your, if the food gets stuck into that cavity and you then come to and visit a dentist, that means the tooth has already decayed. And now restoration is the only answer to it. The patient would have a symptoms of sensitivity to cold that time.
Okay.
And when it caries progresses, means the cavity progresses and infects your inner pulp, that is inclusive of blood and the nerves. So that time, patient would have sensitivity to hot also, and he would be having throbbing pain on lying down. So late night, there would be episodes of having acute pain, and then you will rush to a dentist. That time you will require root canal treatment.
Right. Right now we are joined by Mr. Ghulam Mohammed from Delhi. So Mr. Ghulam, if you are there with me, welcome to the show.
थैंक यू मैम, आप मौका दिया बात करने के लिए, इसलिए शुक्रिया। मेरा सवाल ये है मैम, मेरी बच्ची है 5 साल की, तो मेरे ट्विंस थे, तो ये बच्ची की आदत थी कि सोते सोते मतलब दूध की शीशी मुंह में लगाए लगाए सो जाती थी। तो अभी जब डॉक्टर को दिखाया, उसके दांत में पेन हुआ, तो डॉक्टर ने कहा कि इस हैबिट की वजह से इसके दांत में कैविटी हो गई है। तो अभी तो पूरा ट्रीटमेंट कराया नहीं, उन्होंने एक्सरे किया है
जी।
तो बोल रही कि चबाने वाले जो दांत हैं और कई दांत हैं, उसमें हो सकता है रूट कैनाल करना पड़े। एक दांत जिसका एक्सरे हुआ, उसमें बताया कि उसमें बहुत ज्यादा डैमेज है, तो उसका एक्सरे होगा, अरे रूट कैनाल करना होगा, तो उसके उन्होंने अपॉइंटमेंट दिया है। तो मेरा सवाल ये है कि जैसे चबाने वाले दांत होते हैं बच्चों की, ये टूट के फिर दूसरे नए दांत निकलते हैं, तो क्या मतलब रूट कैनाल में अच्छा पैसा लगता है, तो वो कराना ठीक रहेगा कि नहीं?
जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच आपके सवाल के लिए, और हम आपका जवाब अभी दे देते हैं। डॉक्टर नसीम, आप क्या बताना चाहेंगे उन्हें?
ये प्रश्न बहुत ही अच्छा है। इसमें 2-3 बातें हैं। एक तो ये कि बच्चे को मुंह में दूध की बोतल देके रात में सुलाना बहुत बहुत हानिकारक है। उससे क्या होता है, मिल्क इज़ अ वेरी गुड प्रोडक्ट, दूध से बच्चों के दांत मजबूत बनते हैं, ऐसी धारणा है। बट लोकली अगर मुंह में दूध बना रहे, चिपका रहे, तो उससे कैविटीज़ बहुत होती है। और इसका स्पेशल एक नाम है मिल्क बॉटल सिंड्रोम, जिसमें कि दूध की वजह से सारे ऊपर के दांत और पीछे के सारे चबाने वाले दांत, सभी दांत अफेक्ट हो जाते हैं। सिर्फ नीचे के एंटीरियर टीथ बच जाते हैं क्योंकि उसके ऊपर टंग आ जाती है। तो ये बहुत ही खतरनाक प्रैक्टिस है। इवन नॉट ओनली विद द बॉटल मिल्क, बट इवन ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग से भी कई माएँ रात में भी बच्चे को ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग करवाते हुए खुद भी सो जाती है, बच्चा भी सो जाता है, और उससे भी बच्चों के दांत बहुत ज़्यादा खराब हो जाते हैं। तो ये प्रैक्टिस सबसे पहले वो हानिकारक है। दूसरा, इनका कहना जो है कि ये तो दूध के दांत हैं, करने की ज़रूरत है या नहीं, क्योंकि खर्चा बहुत है। बट ये बताना बहुत ज़रूरी होगा कि दूध के दांतों का बहुत महत्व है। दूध के दांत धीरे धीरे एक के बाद एक गिरते हैं और परमानेंट दांत से रिप्लेस होते हैं। परमानेंट दांत आना शुरू होता है 6-7 साल की उम्र से, और 12 साल की उम्र तक वो दूध के दांत को एक के बाद एक रिप्लेस करता है। तो दांतों को संभाले रखना 11-12 साल की उम्र तक दूध के दांतों को बहुत ज़रूरी हो जाता है। अब ये सवाल उठता है कि उसका क्या फंक्शन है। तो दूध के दांत सिर्फ चबाने के ही काम नहीं आते हैं, बट बच्चों के जबड़े उससे ग्रो होते हैं। चबाने से बच्चे को एक्सरसाइज मिलती है और जबड़े ग्रो होते हैं। अगर बच्चों के दांत जल्दी निकल जाए तो उनका जबड़ा ठीक से नहीं बनता है, और परमानेंट दांत एकदम उनको जगह नहीं मिलती है क्योंकि दांत उतने ही हैं और जबड़ा छोटा रह जाता है, तो बहुत क्राउडिंग हो जाती है दांतों में। तो ये भी एक उसका बहुत महत्वपूर्ण फंक्शन है कि बच्चों के दूध के दांत को संभाला जाए। और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एक और कॉम्प्लिकेशन होता है कि बच्चों के सामने के दांत निकल जाए तो उनका साइकोलॉजिकल मेकअप भी थोड़ा अफेक्ट हो सकता है।
लेकिन आप जल्दी से ये बताइए कि अब उन्हें रूट कनाल करवाना चाहिए अपनी बच्ची का?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
करवाना। ओके, सो आई होप दैट यू गॉट द आंसर टू योर क्वेश्चन गुलाम साहब, कि आपको अपनी बच्ची को डॉक्टर के पास लाना ज़रूर चाहिए और वो जैसा कह रहे हैं आप प्लीज़ उसको मानिए। एंड राइट नाउ वी हैव विद अस मिस्टर परेश पांचाल फ्रॉम गुजरात। सो मिस्टर पांचाल, वेलकम टू द शो एंड प्लीज़ गो अहेड विद योर क्वेश्चन।
सबको नमस्कार। गुजरात साबरकांठा साटंबा से परेश पंचाल बोल रहा हूँ। मैंने आज देखा च्युइंग गम दांतों को क्या फायदा क्या नुकसान कर सकती है ओरल हेल्थ के लिए। थैंक्स टू लोकसभा टीवी।
ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच। डॉक्टर महेश।
हाँ पंचाल जी, आपने पूछा ये बहुत ही बढ़िया सवाल है, क्योंकि आज हमारे मार्केट में ऐसे च्युइंग गम अवेलेबल हैं जिसमें चीनी नहीं है, शुगर फ्री है, और जो शुगर सब्स्टिट्यूट से बने हुए हैं। और ये एक अक्सर देखने में आता है कि अगर हम खाना खाने के बाद ऐसा च्युइंग गम अगर हम च्यू करते हैं तो उससे कई फ़ायदे होते हैं। एक तो दांत खुद ब खुद वो साफ़ हो जाते हैं। दूसरा, जब हम च्यू करते हैं तो सलाइवेशन होता है, और जो सलाइवेशन है उससे जो बैक्टीरियाज हैं वो फ्लश आउट होते हैं। और ऐसा भी कहा है कि जो सलाइवेशन से रीमिनलाइजेशन होता है। तो ये बहुत ही अच्छी आदत है। आपने देखा होगा हमारे देश में भी कुछ एक सालों से ये बहुत सारे जो च्युइंग गम है इसकी बड़ी एड्स आ रही हैं, और बड़ा इनका प्रचलन जो है वो काफ़ी ये प्रचलित हुए हैं। और ये भी एक प्रिवेंटिव डेंटिस्ट्री में इनका काफ़ी रोल है। सिर्फ एक बात को ध्यान रखना है कि ये जो च्युइंग गम है इनमें जाइलिटॉल हो या शुगर सब्स्टिट्यूट हो, और वो शुगर वाले ना हो। उनमें कुछ एक च्युइंग गम ऐसे भी हैं जो सिर्फ हम मीठे के लिए खाते हैं। वो जो च्युइंग गम है, आप कभी कोई भी अगर आप च्युइंग गम खा के देखेंगे और आप 5-10 मिनट के बाद देखेंगे आपके दांत बिल्कुल साफ हो गए हैं और बिल्कुल उनके जो च्युइंग सरफेस पे जो खाना था वो निकल गया है। तो ये कहीं हद तक ओरल हेल्थ के लिए काफ़ी फायदेमंद सिद्ध हुए हैं।
And now we have with us Harjeet Singh from Punjab. So Harjeet ji, welcome to the show and what's your question?
हाँ जी डॉक्टर साहब, मैं जो दांत का इम्प्लांट है उसके बारे जानकारी लेना चाहता हूँ कि इम्प्लांट करना ये बेटर है या कोई और अल्टरनेटिव?
जी, thank you very much for that question. I think that's a very good question. Dr. Grewal, would you like to take that? Or maybe Dr. Mahesh can take that. Yes.
हरजीत बोला ना आपने इनका नाम? हरजीत जी, ऐसा है कि देखो आज इम्प्लांट के बारे में बहुत सारी जिज्ञासा है, बहुत सारे लोग इसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। और एक इम्प्लांट भी एक नई जो है तकनीक उभर के आई है, उससे जो है हम लोग बहुत इसकी तरफ बहुत आकर्षित हुए हैं। बट देखिए, बट ये कहना कि हर केस में इम्प्लांट हो सकता है, संभव है, या इम्प्लांट इज़ द बेस्ट थिंग, वो भी सही नहीं होगा। हाँ, एक डॉक्टर पेशेंट को एग्जामिन करके पता लगा सकता है कि कैसा सिचुएशन है। देखिए, कुछ एक सिचुएशन है जिसमें हम फिक्स दांत लगा सकते हैं, कुछ एक सिचुएशन है जिसमें हम कृत्रिम दांत जो निकालने वाले होते हैं वो लगाते हैं। और अगर कुछ एक दांत, सारे दांत नहीं, अगर कुछ एक दांत निकले हों तो आसानी से हम उसमें इम्प्लांट लगा सकते हैं। देखिए, ये जो तकनीक है ये थोड़ी लंबी है, थोड़ी महंगी भी है, और इसमें थोड़ा टाइम भी लगता है। और पर ये बहुत ही एक बायोलॉजिकल मेथड है रिप्लेसमेंट का। पहले जब हम रिप्लेस करते थे तो हम आसपास के दांतों को हमें प्रिपेयर करना होता था, उनको घिसना होता था, तो उसके हम सपोर्ट लेके रिप्लेस करते थे। आज हम उन दांतों को बिल्कुल टच नहीं करते। तो ये बहुत एक कंजर्वेटिव मेथड है। और अगर आप इस सिचुएशन के लिए अगर आप आइडियल केस हैं, वो डॉक्टर देख के आपको बताएगा, तो बहुत अच्छी बात है और आप इससे जरूर करवाएं। और ये बहुत ही अच्छी तकनीक है और बहुत ही सही तरीका है रिप्लेसमेंट का।
Right. So I think that's a real good news for all of us, and whoever needs an implant like that, and to know that the other teeth are not going to be hampered at all, I think this is a great advancement in the dental field. And now we have with us Shelly from Gujarat. So Shelly, if you're there with me, welcome to the show and please go ahead.
थैंक यू मैम। मुझे पूछना था, मेरा बेटा 11.5 साल का है
जी,
और उसका मैम पता नहीं पिछले 3-4 महीने से कंटिन्यूस एक के बाद एक दांत गिर रहे हैं और कुछ ब्राउन सा हो गया है दांतों में। और इसकी वजह से मैम, लेकिन क्या है कि डेंटिस्ट के पास जाने से वो बहुत डरता है। डेंटिस्ट का नाम सुनते ही वो रोना शुरू कर देता है, बड़ा मुश्किल है ले जाना। तो आप बताइए कि मेरे पास क्या क्या कर सकती हूँ,
क्या ऑप्शन है?
हाँ जी, हाँ।
सो डॉक्टर ग्रेवाल, आप उनकी कुछ मदद कर सकती हैं इस बारे में।
Thank you, Shaili, for asking such a question because probably this patient जो उनका बेटा है उसके दांतों में सारों में कीड़ा लगा हुआ है, रैम्पेंट केरीज का पेशेंट हो सकता है या हाइपोप्लास्टिक टीथ है उसके। जो ब्राउन बता रहे हैं वो एरिया गुजरात के एरिया में रहते हैं, तो फ्लोराइड कंटेंट का भी जिस एरिया में रहते हैं दैट हैज टू बी चेक्ड फॉर। एंड एज रिगार्ड्स दैट केयर she should be taking him to the dentist as soon as possible। एक दो बार वैसे जाएं, सोशलाइज करवाएं, और जब कंफर्टेबल लगे बच्चा उधर सोशलाइज करके सराउंडिंग्स में कंफर्टेबल फील करे तो ट्रीटमेंट भी स्टार्ट करवाएं। बिकॉज रेस्टोरेशन एंड रूट कनाल ट्रीटमेंट जिन दांतों को चाहिए वो करवाना पड़ेगा। अदरवाइज साइकोलॉजिकली द चाइल्ड वुड,
because there is no other way. Only a dentist will be able to look at your child and वही बता पाएंगे कि अब आगे क्या करना है। Well, time for us to slip into another break, but do stay put as we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. You're watching Healthy India, and today we are talking about oral health. So if you have a question regarding this, anything that's related to your mouth, this is the time to get the answers to all those questions. Do pick up your phone and reach us at 1800115314 and 23035420. Having said that, we are joined by Avinder from Chandigarh. So Avinder, if you're there with me, welcome to the show. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, yes. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening to you. Please go ahead.
I'm having a query. There are two sets of questions. First is for myself. The question is that what sort of regular preventive care or cleanliness techniques we should have, because there should be regular 6 month period of or 1 month, 1 year period where the teeth must be regularly cleaned. So shall I visit the dentist after every 1 year? Second point is that my mother is developing gap between two teeth on front of her side. Her age is around 56. So please assess both issues.
Okay.
My teeth are getting yellowish in color. So what is the way out of that?
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
So, okay, first of the first part, let me answer, because all the three doctors have in depth told us as to how to keep the teeth clean. But yes, you need to see a doctor every 6 months, not once a year, but every 6 months. And the other part of the question, that your mother is developing some space between her two front teeth. So I'll request Dr. Naseem to answer that one.
I couldn't get his question very well. I suppose he said that mother is developing diabetes.
No, did he say diabetes or space between the teeth?
Not diabetes.
No, not
No,
diabetes.
not
The
diabetes.
teeth are yellow, and she is developing space, and it could be periodontal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, because he is a grown-up person and his mother must be above 50
Yes,
years.
that's what he said, 56 or 66.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, as age advances, one develops gum diseases, and if it is not kept under check, then teeth starts migrating from its position, what we call it as pathological migration. So, you get spacing between the teeth, and therefore, it is very important to do routine oral hygiene measures at home, as well as take professional help. And many people develop lot of deposits, plaque and all that, and professional help is required to regularly maintain the hygiene. And if that is not done, then the gum swells up, then the bone starts resorbing, receding, and the teeth look longer, they start drifting, and gently, slowly, over a period of time, they start shaking also. So it is right time to go to a doctor and get the professional help.
All right. Well, so that's the answer to your question over there. And now, Dr. Mahesh, another problem that we do come across is of bad breath.
Yes.
So what is the most common cause of bad breath, and can this be arrested? If yes, how?
Yes. You know, there's a myth that bad breath is because of stomach problems or because of some nasal problem or sinus problems. You know, it has been observed that predominantly, you know, maybe 95%, 90% of situation bad breath is from mouth. And why? Because we have not been able to maintain hygiene. We have not got our scaling done, because people are also very scared that when they get their teeth scaled, it is affecting the enamel. Enamel is getting worn.
Right.
I wish to share with our viewers that enamel, as Dr. Naseem said, that is the hardest part of the body.
That's right.
If we have to grind enamel, we need still harder. We use diamond tools to grind. You know, our scaling instruments, scalers, you know, which is made up of steel and which use vibratory energy, or we sometimes use mechanical scalers, you know, but that cannot wear away enamel. So, please do not think that scaling is bad for your teeth, and in spite of our best efforts, we maintain hygiene still. As Dr. Harpreet said, there will be tartar, there will be deposits in the mouth, especially on the inner side, which keeps on building up regularly. So, that needs to be clean. So, you know, if that is done, you know, so that has to be done. That only can be done professionally. So, if this is
So which means anybody who's suffering of bad breath must actually go and see a dentist.
a dentist. So, most likely bad oral hygiene. So, oral hygiene, if it is corrected, another thing which most of us, in spite of brushing, I am emphasizing again and again, is cleaning of the tongue, because all these smelly bacteria which produce fetor, which produces bad smell in mouth, is at the base of the tongue, you know, the back portion of the tongue. That needs to be clean, otherwise they keep flourishing there and will produce smell in the mouth. If that is done, you know, I think you know, it can
Bad
be
breath
taken
can be
care
taken
of.
care of. All right. Well, now, as he just said, you know, the regular cleaning of teeth by a dentist is very important. So, tartar is something that people do understand, but even then they do not really go to a dentist to get it clean, thinking that, oh, this is normal and as we age, this is going to happen. So, what is tartar and how can it be cleaned, and how often does a person need to go to a dentist?
This is the hardened plaque. Hardened plaque is known as tartar.
Right.
And over a period of time, it adheres thickly to the teeth surface. Lingually, that is the backside of the lower teeth. The lot of tartar deposits are there, and they need to be professionally cleaned,
Right.
either by hand scaling methods or by ultrasonic scalers. So for that, a person must visit a dentist every 6 months.
Right. And
That's
how
the
long does
message.
this procedure really last of removing tartar?
It would be only 10 to 20 minutes sitting at a given point of time, maybe 20 minutes, and 2 to 3 sittings.
2-3 sittings, right. Well, let's see what Mr. Joginder Sethi from Chandigarh has to say. So, Mr. Sethi, if you're there with me, welcome to the show.
हाँ नमस्कार मैडम, मैं
जी।
जोगिंदर सेठी चंडीगढ़ से बोल रहा हूँ जी।
जी।
मेरी उम्र 52 साल की है जी। मैं पिछले कई टाइम से तकरीबन 4 साल से जी मुंह के जो व्हाइट सेल या रेड सेल होता है उससे परेशान हूँ जी। खाने के साथ जैसे भी खाता हूँ तो मुझे मिर्ची और तीखापन बहुत लगता है जी। डॉक्टर से मैंने कंसल्ट भी किया तो डॉक्टर ने मुझे स्टीरॉइड दे दिया, जिससे मैं कम से कम 5-6 दिन तो हाई ब्लड प्रेशर से परेशान रहा था जी। अब मुझे बताइए मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ अपने लिए। मैं वैसे नॉर्मल हूँ, सब तरह से ठीक हूँ जी।
Okay, Joginder Singh, Mr. Sethi, just remain on line for a moment. Dr. Naseem, आप उनका जवाब देना चाहेंगे, and if you have anything to ask, you can just ask him quickly.
हाँ, मिस्टर सेठी, आपने ये बताया कि मुंह में बहुत जलन हो रही है और आप नॉर्मल खाना खाने में असमर्थ है। इज दैट राइट?
जलन नहीं होती जी, मेरे को जब भी मैं खाता हूँ मुझे तीखा लगता है जी बहुत।
तीखा लगता है, वही मिर्ची।
हाँ जी।
मुंह में जो म्यूकस मेम्ब्रेन है, जो मुंह के अंदर जो लाइनिंग है, वो कई बार बहुत एट्रोफिक हो जाती है। उसके कई कारण होते हैं। एक तो विटामिन डेफिशिएंसीज होती है, बी कॉम्प्लेक्स डेफिशिएंसी, उससे भी मुंह में या तो बहुत जलन लगना।
Also, ma'am, if I can interrupt you, I would just like to ask him whether he's a smoker or do you use tobacco in any
I
form?
was coming to that.
बहुत
Yes.
कम लेता, सिगरेट पीता नहीं जी, अल्कोहल बहुत कम लेता हूँ डॉक्टर साहब।
अल्कोहल।
Okay.
बट सुपारी, पान मसाला वगैरह
मैंने कभी नहीं खाया जी।
अच्छा।
पान कभी कभार ऑक्सीजन खाता हूँ, मैं वैसे नहीं खाया जी।
हाँ जी, इसीलिए मुझे लगा था कि ये नहीं खाते, बट आई वाज कमिंग टू दैट कि इसमें और कारण ये है कि एक तो विटामिन की डेफिशिएंसी होती है, और हमारे देश में ये कंडीशन, एक और कंडीशन है जिसको कहते हैं सबम्यूकस फाइब्रोसिस, जो कि सुपारी खाने के साथ बहुत एसोसिएटेड है, बट ये साहब नहीं खाते हैं। अदरवाइज ये एक बहुत मेजर कारण है कि लोग सुपारी, पान मसाला और गुटखा वगैरह चबाते हैं, जिससे कि मुंह के अंदर फाइब्रोसिस हो जाता है, मुंह बहुत सख्त हो जाता है, और ऊपर का जो एपिथेलियम है बहुत एट्रोफिक होके जल्दी से सारे स्टिमुलाई नीचे नर्व्स को इरिटेट करते हैं, मुंह में जलन होने लगती है। कई लोगों को बहुत छाले पड़ने की भी आदत होती है। तो ये एक बहुत कॉमन बात है, बहुत लोग इस तरह की परेशानियों से ग्रस्त है। तो इसके लिए यही है कि न्यूट्रिशन अच्छा रखना है और हाइड्रेशन बहुत अच्छा रखना है, बहुत सारा पानी पीते रहना है, और मिर्च मसाला जब एक्यूट कंडीशन है, मुंह में जलन है, तो उस वक्त थोड़ा फीका खाना खाना है जब तक कि कंडीशन स्टेबल ना हो जाए, और विटामिन के सप्लीमेंट्स लेना है लॉन्ग टर्म 3 to 6 months। विटामिन के डॉक्टर से मिलकर डॉक्टर जो प्रिस्क्राइब करे वो लेना है।
Right. And now we are joined by Mr. J.N. Rao from Maharashtra. So, Mr. Rao, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, please go ahead.
My question is, oral health involves taking care of the teeth and gums. Consuming of soft foods, is it preferable, and avoiding, if possible, hard foods, is it a solution? And the second question is, does the tooth gums get decayed by acts such as smoking, chewing pan, gutka, etc.? Thank you.
Okay, so he says that if one eats only soft foods and doesn't really eat hard foods, then will this person's teeth remain perfect, in perfect condition?
You know, it is something very similar that we don't move at all.
Right.
We sit on a bed, and you think our muscles will become very strong because we are not putting our muscles to, and we are conserving energy. It doesn't happen so. See, every muscle, every bone, it needs stimulation. They need to be exercised, and for that, if you see in the modern days, now we are going back to basics. We are again eating rough food, roughage. We are including bran in our diet.
That's right.
We are using whole wheat instead of refined flour. So why is that? Because roughage is important, very important, and that comes from vegetables, fruits, all such kind of food, which is so. And also there is another thing, that soft and sugary food will stick to teeth, and
right.
they will stick to teeth. It will ferment very easily. It will result in decay. It will cause, the bacteria can grow very easily in a soft food. True. And it will be very damaging. So it's not that we have to have a blend of both. We can have soft and hand. And another thing which the earlier viewer, which Dr. Naseem Shah very ably answered, the gentleman from Mr. Sethi from Chandigarh. I want to add one more thing, that he is complaining of burning of his mouth. It could be nutrition. I would also advise him that he should get himself examined by a oral physician, someone who is MDS in oral medicine. He may be suffering from lichen planus, which is very common, very common disease, common condition. Patient is not aware of it. That can also give him a burning sensation, and there is no other complaint whatsoever. And he could also be suffering from very subclinical fungal infection of the mouth. Many of us, we don't maintain very hygiene. So there is some kind of a subclinical fungal infection, which is not visible, only a examination when they get tested. So it could be, it could be nutritional, as Dr. Naseem said. It could be also that,
Well, so I think you actually need to go and see the right dentist and the right person, and maybe he will be the one to guide you. Time for us to slip into another break, but don't go anywhere, as we'll be back in just a moment, as there's a lot more on the other side. Welcome back. This is Healthy India, and today we are talking about oral health. If you still have a question, you can very quickly pick up your phone and reach us at 1800115314 and 23035420. Having said that, we are joined by Rekha from Delhi. So, Rekha, are you there with me?
हाँ जी, मेरे दांत है ना, मेरे बहुत पीले पीले दिखाई देते हैं। हाँ जी।
बस।
हाँ जी।
क्या करती हैं आप? सिगरेट पीती हैं?
नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं मैडम।
कुछ भी? पान खाती होंगी?
कुछ भी नहीं मैडम।
अच्छा, ठीक है, तो देखते हैं कि डॉक्टर साहब क्या बताते हैं आपको। डॉक्टर महेश,
देखिए, एक अक्सर सोचने में ऐसा लगता है कि जब थोड़े उम्र बढ़ जाती है तो हम कहते हैं हमारे दांत पीले हुए हैं। सी दांतों का एक अपना कलर है, जैसे हमारे स्किन का कलर है। हम कुछ भी कर लें, अपने स्किन के कलर को हम चेंज नहीं कर सकते। उसी तरह से जो दांतों का एक अपना शेड है, और वो शेड क्या है कि जो दांत का जो अंदर का भीतरी हिस्सा है, डेंटाइन या डेंटीन, वो जो कलर है वो इनामल के थ्रू रिफ्लेक्टेड है। तो हर दांतों का अपना अलग अलग शेड है। तो अब क्या होता है कि जब हम उम्र के साथ जब हम भोजन करते हैं, हमारे इंडियन खाने में टर्मरिक ज़्यादा है, हम चाय पीते हैं, कॉफ़ी पीते हैं, बहुत सारा इस तरह के जो हमारे भोजन पदार्थ में बहुत सारे इस तरह कलरेंट्स हैं। तो उससे थोड़े से हमारे जो दांत हैं वो सरफेस जो है वो पिकअप कर लेते हैं। तो उन स्टेन्स या उन जो इस तरह के कलरेंट हैं उनको हम स्केलिंग या पॉलिशिंग से हम दूर कर सकते हैं। बट ये बहुत ही एक भ्रांति है कि आम सोचते हैं कि नहीं 55 की उम्र में हमारे पर्ली वाइट दांत होने चाहिए। अगर ऐसा है तो वो सच्चाई, उसमें कोई सच्चाई नहीं है। हाँ, अगर हम ब्लीचिंग करते हैं, आजकल बहुत से लोग ब्लीचिंग कराते हैं। देखिए, ब्लीचिंग क्या है? ब्लीचिंग केमिकल से हम जो सरफेस पे जो कुछ इस तरह के कलरेंट्स हैं उनको हम ब्लीच आउट करते हैं। दांत थोड़े डिहाइड्रेटेड हो जाते हैं, वो थोड़े सफ़ेद लगने लगते हैं, और 2-4 दिनों में दांत फिर रिहाइड्रेट हो जाते हैं और फिर ज्यों के त्यों वैसे हो जाते हैं। तो एक ये ये अगर कोई डिपॉजिट्स हैं, कोई डिपॉजिट वो साफ किए जा सकते हैं। उनको हमारे पास आजकल बहुत सारी और तकनीकी आई हैं। हम अब्रेजिव ब्लास्ट करते हैं दांतों पे, उससे वो बिल्कुल वो चमक आ जाती है। बट ऐसा करना,
since we're running short of time, very quickly I would like to ask Dr. Naseem here that another problem which is the worst of its kind is oral cancer. Now, I think most of the people know as to how it happens, but what is the way of preventing oral cancer? I would like you to answer that.
I don't think people are even aware how it happens. So, it is very important and essential to understand the causes of oral cancer. And oral cancer is the major problem in our country. It is the most common cancer in men and third most common cancer in females. And 95% of oral cancers are related to use of tobacco in some form or the other. And in India, there are widespread tobacco chewing habits, smoking habits, and in oral hygiene awareness is low, and various kinds of oral infections are there. So, all these culminate and it can lead to initiation of oral cancer. But thankfully, all the oral cancers are preceded by some kind of lesion in the mouth, which we call it as precancerous lesion. And it is important that people are made aware that what are the signs and symptoms, early signs and symptoms. If they see that, they have to go to the dentist or the physician and immediately get it checked, like white patch or red patch, or very difficulty in opening the mouth and loss of elasticity, or some lump in the mouth, or unusual bleeding from the mouth, or hoarseness of the voice, and non-healing ulcer of 15 days duration or more. So, all these are very early signs and symptoms, and never to be ignored. They have to go to the doctor urgently. But important thing is how to prevent. Prevention is keep away from all tobacco habits. And for that, what we call it as primordial prevention, we have to target school children, young students in the colleges, that not to pick up these habits in the first place, ever. And if they have started it, there are very widespread WHO sponsored program, we call it tobacco cessation clinics, TCC, and also by Indian Dental Association. They have started TII, that is Tobacco Intervention Initiative, and one has to try and give up these tobacco habits.
That's true.
Second thing is alcohol consumption. If one takes alcohol along with tobacco, the absorption of all the toxic products from the tobacco gets absorbed in larger quantity and quicker.
Right.
And
so which basically it means
cancer.
that people should keep away from all kinds of substances which can be causing cancer, because just quit it. And if you are doing it, and if you are not doing it, then don't start it. So well, finally, do you have any take-home message for the people, Dr. Grewal? Very quickly.
Visit a dentist every 6 months to get your teeth evaluated and practice good oral hygiene habits. That is brushing twice daily, flossing at minimum twice daily, and you rinsing your mouth after every meal.
That's right. Well, so in one line, what can you say to tell the people?
Brush, floss, rinse, and you go to a dentist periodically, not only to get your hygiene done, but also to get your mouth evaluated. Are you in for a trouble?
Absolutely.
I think that's also very important.
I think these are some points that we all need to remember all the time. Well, before we go, I'd like to tell you that keep writing into us on this address.
Healthy India, FB 116, Lok Sabha Television, Parliament Library Building, Parliament House, New Delhi 110001. Email healthlstv@gmail.com, and our toll-free number is 1800115314.
Well, so a big thank you to all three of you for coming today, and thank you very much, viewers, for watching us. And do join me next week when we'll be talking about something equally important and engaging. Till then, this is Dr. Yalaric saying goodbye and take very good care of your health.